Good morning, everyone. 8:06, Dixon and Vining at Talk 99.5, talk995.com. It is Thursday, June the 18th, 2026. You can expect a lot of rain today. We are looking at Tropical Storm Arthur, and now we have a tornado watch. It's not a warning, it's a watch.
Thankfully, yeah.
For Greene and Hale County until 5 o'clock this afternoon. I would assume, and this is just speculation, that as we progress through the day, that we're probably going to add some counties to that watch.
I would imagine so, and a lot of this has to do with just kind of being, a little bit on the cautionary side of things, because, again, most of this is going to be affecting southern part of the state, Montgomery further south, but there is the chance of getting some of these, you were talking about it earlier, straight line winds maybe up to 60.
Yeah, 60
It is going
miles
to
an
take
hour.
much to maybe get that to start circulating a little bit.
Yeah, so y'all be careful out there. Again, we're here all day. We'll keep you informed. If any of those watches turn into warnings, we'll certainly let you know about that. We'll update you here on just a second on exactly what the weather is going to bring us. I wanted to throw this out to you. Donald Trump just put this out on Truth Social. This is what he says. These fools who think I haven't been tough enough on Iran when the stock market just hit a record high and oil prices are tumbling down are either jealous, bad people, or stupid. Make America great again. President Donald J. Trump.
Well,
I can understand his frustration.
I do.
I mean, this man, once again, he could walk on water. He could be Jesus, and
He could be
just
cure
wouldn't.
cancer,
It wouldn't matter. They are so hell bent on making sure that they try to make him look bad, no matter what he does.
Yeah.
He just got a deal done with Iran that's going to keep them from having nukes ever. We hope that it holds.
Yeah,
but no one else.
That's the key, is that they hold to it.
What other president has been able to do this?
So
Barack
far, none.
Obama's given him pallets of money. Here, have some more money.
Yeah.
And earlier this week, he was patting himself on the back. He was reaching around so far, he needed a second arm to pat himself on the back about what a great job he did with Iran. Are you kidding me,
Yeah.
Obama?
No.
Are
he
you
didn't.
kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is and this is the biggest problem, and it doesn't matter who the president would have been in this particular situation. The biggest problem is we still have the basic Iran leadership still in effect.
Yeah, and that's a problem. That is always going to be a problem.
But at the same time, are we looking for the perfect despite the good?
That's right.
And,
right.
You
Our goal was that they could not have a nuclear weapon to, A, take out Israel, or do any harm to the U.S., because they've made it abundantly clear. Death to America, death to Israel, death to the Jews. I mean, there's no doubt how they feel about it.
Exactly.
That's never going to change. I don't think we can ever change that mindset. But we certainly can keep you from getting a nuclear weapon so you don't kill people.
Yeah.
And again, we've destroyed their military. There's nothing really left.
And if you back out on the deal, guess what? We're coming back.
Absolutely amazing. But I once again say kudos to this president that in year two, again, if you look at the Dow Jones yesterday, I don't know what it's doing this morning. I haven't looked at it, but the futures were,
they were up 200 this morning at about not quite 5 o'clock. So
yeah, the futures were on fire this morning. So, and the oil prices are down. I mean, we saw $75. We saw $75. 75 for. So I think we're in great shape right now, the best that we have been in quite some time. We hope that this deal with Iran holds. And he's right. The economy is looking great. Everything is strong. And we just, we've got to get American people believing that we're in good shape, because I think that a lot of people are still hanging on to those purse strings. They're like, oh, I can't spend. I'm not going to do anything.
By all means, go ahead, hold on to the purse strings for a little while. Be cautious, but at the same time, don't misunderstand this. Yes, this is a ceasefire. It's an easier way to do this. To, hey, let's knock out the fighting. Let's sit down at a table or sit down on a phone and let's talk about this, and let's get into some more details. Because here's the thing: this is kind of a temporary 60-day sort of a thing, which means it's not permanent.
No.
So that means there's still room for negotiation here.
Right. And we're hoping that at some point when that negotiating is done, that we can start to back out and bring our military home.
Yeah.
And, again, keep eyes on them from a distance and assist Israel in any way that we can so that they don't have any nuclear capabilities as far as we can see.
Yeah.
Let's get into the three things. And since we kind of covered it, yes, the U.S. and Iran agreement is high on our list, and we'll get a little deeper into that in just a little while. New York City, we are watching right now on our monitors. The New York Police Department has deployed, get this, some 10,000 officers of part of what is going to be described as the assets that they need for the parade celebration for the New York Knicks NBA champions. They said that some of the police officers that they are using will be visible. You'll be able to know who they are. Others behind the scenes. You've got canine units. You've got explosive detection personnel, transit officers, transportation units, and highway patrol resources all being used in this. Massive crowds that we're looking at in New York City. It may break all records that they've seen ever in New York City.
Well, it's been half a century plus since they last won an NBA title, and those guys were hungry for it. We saw this with the New York Rangers back, 30 years ago, and how excited they were to finally get the Rangers to get there. And I told you this beforehand, and I've said it on the air on several occasions. My wife sent me up in 2004 to the parade for the Boston Red Sox after they won the first World Series in 86 years. I was one of about 3.5 million people they estimated to have been there for that particular thing.
How fun was that?
It was a lot of fun,
Yeah, I bet.
and just to kind of get the whole vibe of it. But here's the situation: we remember the Boston Marathon of 2013. You get a lot of people in that area, and all it takes is somebody that is willing to do something stupid, like create a little IED, improvised explosive device, and you just really screw up the entire works.
Yep.
And that's why they're out there being this
very, very
careful.
vigilant. The department announced that all attendees had to go through screening before entering viewing areas, and that bags will not be permitted.
Okay.
No bags. So
Okay,
I guess that means backpacks or anything. They opened up, I believe, to the public to be able to get into some of these security pinned-in areas at 6 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
So, and we're seeing some of the buses
they're starting
and
to roll.
SUVs rolling into New York City. So this is going to be big. And I really hope that these crowds, we saw right after the ball game, the bus that they burned up and some of the other things. It's like, really, do we need to be destructive every time a team wins? So
I've never understood
I don't either. And let's hope the parade remains exciting, celebratory, but let's not do anything in New York City to cause destruction.
Just be there, have a good time, celebrate the fact that you finally got a title after half a century.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Just be celebratory.
Yeah, and the Knicks owner, James Dolan, has said, we will accept Donald Trump's offer to go to the White House.
Yeah, nice. I love it.
First basketball team in I don't know how long.
And then it'll
to
be
accept a Trump offer.
there'll probably be some players that say, I don't want to go.
By all means,
That's
don't
fine,
go.
don't go.
But and I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'd never heard about this until a goalie from might have even been the Boston Bruins back in 2011 saying, I'm not going to go because I disagree with the president. I kind of disagreed with that because, I might disagree with the president, who was Barack Obama at the time, but when are you going to get another chance to go to the White House?
You always need to accept that as a yes invitation.
Yeah, you disagree with the guy,
Really.
fine, but you're going.
It's
I'm
the White
going
House.
to the White House,
Right, you're going to the White House.
and I'm celebrating the fact that I won a world title.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't I celebrate that?
Yeah. Take politics out of sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it out of there. All right, DCH Hospital apparently getting hit with a couple of lawsuits. This is following the tragic death of a nurse. Y'all remember us talking about this story. Matthew Taylor apparently was having a mental breakdown is really what it was. Taylor was dropped off at DCH Regional Medical Center in Tuscaloosa because of that episode. His family is suing the hospital, claiming that he didn't get the care that he needed and was turned away, something that DCH refutes. They say that he never came into the hospital but wandered around out in the parking lot. This went on for several hours. He kind of left the area and then came back. He apparently got a weapon out of a vehicle. I guess the vehicle was unlocked, I'm going to presume.
I guess.
But he had a gun in his hand that, it's like, how did he get that gun? He took it out of a vehicle. He tried to rob one nurse that was leaving, and this is in broad daylight. This is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. One nurse was leaving the hospital, headed to her car to go home after her shift. He tried to rob her. Somehow she was able to get away. Next person in line was this sweet woman, Ada Doss, also a nurse. She was leaving her shift and heading to her car. He confronted her. She begged him not to, shoot her. He ends up shooting her and killing her. Now, Ada Doss's husband, I believe his name is Andrew, has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against DCH. I think they may have a case. I don't know about the Matthew Taylor family, whether they have a case or not. They're going to have to prove that he went into the hospital and that somebody turned him away.
Right.
And DCH is saying, look, he never came into the hospital. And if that's the case, that's going to be an interesting case to watch if it makes it to a court of law.
Yeah. And
or does it get tossed out?
That's where we're hoping that there's security footage somewhere that can back up or refute DCH's claim.
Mm-hmm. And they're also, Andrew Doss is part of the lawsuit. It's not just the hospital, but it's also the security that's supposed to be there for DCH. And I think it's Allied Universal Security is who it is.
Okay.
I just wonder, does this change the security procedures, not just for DCH, but any other hospital that is hearing this story going, you know what, we probably need to beef up our security at some of these entrances, especially the emergency room entrance and exit for situations like this. And I know that this is like, a 1%er or a 5%er, but I would think that the hospital would want to protect themselves.
Well, sure, and they certainly would want to, and they want to keep the employees of the hospital safe and secure. But short of escorting every single person to their car, I'm not sure what else can you do?
Right in this situation. And again, we don't have definitive answers on whether Taylor went into the hospital or not, but we'll get that. We'll eventually get that. And you can't bring Ada Doss back. I mean, she leaves behind a husband and 2 small children, and the whole story is absolutely tragic.
It's horrible.
She should still be here, and he should have gotten the help that he needed. So it's an interesting case. Finally, just real quick, I want to mention that Tommy Tuberville is once again being sued. We just went through this last weekend, and I understand that some say, that was kind of a situation with the state. Yes, that he can run as governor. The argument is that his main residence isn't the one that he has in Auburn, because he travels from D.C. to Auburn and then also has a place down at the beach. And Tommy's like, no, my homestead is the Auburn address. Yeah. But there's another lawsuit debating that issue. And that means if there's a problem with that, then he may not be able to run for governor. But as far as we know, again, his main house is the Auburn house, and that's the one that he's claiming. And that should give him the ability to run for governor.
It was enough to satisfy the ALGOP. I'm not sure what you're going to be able to bring to the table that's going to tell any other legislative body, hey, they were wrong, and he's not eligible.
Yeah. 8:19, back in a moment. It's Dixon and Viney on Talk 99.5. Oh, we can. Absolutely, we can.
Got to be willing to on both sides, though.
That's right.
Well, and Steve, you're my friends.
823 Dixon and Vining. You hearing Steve West and John Bird, and you're like, well, what's going on
Yeah, really.
there this morning? What? No Richard Dixon?
No Richard Dixon.
Nope. He stood us up today.
Richard is not feeling good.
No, he's not.
That's my Richard voice.
Yeah, so we got a text very early this morning that he was pretty sick. So then I text John Bird. I said, "You up?" This is at 4 something. You up, man?
Maybe not at 4.
Well, 4. Yeah.
5:08.
Was it
5:08?
5:08?
Okay.
Oh, you knew the exact time.
Because I was getting up to pee.
Oh,
It was
okay.
perfect
Oh,
timing.
thank you. Yes. He's probably like, oh God,
I got to go
I gotta
into
get
work.
up. What?
No way, man. Since I
So-
came back, I'm like, I work 24 hours a day.
Thank you so much, John Bird.
Sure.
Yeah, so John Bird's behind the glass. Steve West co-hosting with me today. We'll say a little prayer for Richard. I hope he feels better. Get him some Pepto-Bismol or whatever he needs. And maybe back here tomorrow. We
Maybe.
shall see.
We're taking bets.
Yeah, we are taking bets. The over-under, what would it be?
Yeah.
We just saw this on our monitors, and, we haven't talked a whole lot about it. But this debacle of a presidential center for former President Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Subcontractors said they're owed millions of dollars. This thing cost $830 million.
That's ridiculous.
The overall construction, $830 million in 2021.
How much of
And they said it's likely going to go past the billion mark.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
How much of this is an ego trip? And I'm not just talking about Obama. I'm talking about the presidential library itself. Forget a specific president. For the president, this has got to be something of an ego trip, doesn't it?
Can I just tell you, it's really ugly.
It is. The building itself. The grounds.
building-
We were looking at the surrounding grounds, and they did a nice job with the landscaping, or at least on the pictures.
Well, you
But
know
the-
what?
but
The
the-
landscaping looks so good because the building looks so bad.
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't understand who came up with this idea. Not in the least.
And if you're Obama, and you're like, you know what? My name is on this whole thing. I know I'm not the builder. I'm not the subcontractor or whatever. But
Shouldn't you have some say in it? Yeah. Like-
Something like,
Can you look at him and go,
I
I
need a
really
little
don't like
help.
this or that, or I really don't like the whole thing. Can we do something different?
It's just, I'm like, who? And I would, if my name is going to be on the building and it's going to be, the Vining Library, hey, can we sit down and kind of look at what the construction, because, can we together maybe?
Yeah.
I've got some ideas, but you maybe know better because you're in the construction world.
Right.
Can we build something that's kind of, user friendly and people would like to come? That'd be welcoming and warm.
And something that kind of fits into the neighborhood a little bit.
I mean,
Instead of sticking out like a sore thumb.
They interviewed some people that live in the area, and they're raising Cain about
Yeah,
this.
I mean, one guy's wearing an Obama, that old Hope shirt, and he's going, hey, I'm all for Obama. Not for this location, not for this place. And I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're going to go hypothetical here, so you were born, for the most part, raised in South Florida,
Uh-huh.
but you've been here for a long time.
Long time.
If you were to-
35 years.
If you were to have a presidential library, where would you put it, here or there?
Here.
Here?
Mhm,
Okay.
I would.
Yeah.
There's no the land costs too much in South Florida now. You
Well-
can't afford to put a library or anything like that.
Yeah, and I've said this.
I would
yeah,
put it
I'm-
here.
I may have been born in Boston, but
Yeah.
this is home. If I
Yeah.
think of home, I think here, because we moved here when I was 5.
Mm-hmm.
And other than the 10 years that I was working in radio in Virginia and West Virginia, I've been here the overwhelming majority of my life. It'd be here.
Oh,
I don't know whether it'd be downtown Birmingham, but it would be somewhere in the Birmingham area.
Sure. Yeah. Find a pretty spot.
Yeah.
Find some land, build it.
Yeah.
And make it really nice.
Exactly.
Yeah. So somewhere around like where Barber Motorsports Park is. I would like
That'd be a
that.
nice
Some
area.
land out there.
Yeah, be a nice area.
Add to whatever's going on out
Yeah,
there. That
That'd
would
be a nice area
nice.
too.
Yeah, I keep, I know that there was the Southern Flight Museum that they were going to put out there. I really hope that comes to fruition. And there was the track we were talking about the other day,
Yeah, the go-kart
the
track.
go-kart track. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can expand on how beautiful that is, but I think carefully you need to do it
Yeah.
because, you don't want to end up with some things out there that
Well,
start, how do I want to say it?
You don't wanna-
Trash up the place.
Yeah, you don't want to disrupt what it was. I mean, George Barber did a fantastic job of putting that facility, the track, the museum and everything and weaving it into the area that it was there. He didn't really disrupt that whole area that much. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Is to try and keep that feel.
And that was, yeah, he was definitely hands-on with everything that was built about that track, and he wanted to keep the trees and the nature as much as possible when building that.
Exactly.
And then, move the museum, which was downtown, and built this huge, the museum, I could go on and on about it, how absolutely pristine, first class, beautiful it is. And I'm not all that much into bikes and some of the cars and stuff, but you walk through that and you just absorb it. You're
is.
just like,
It's
this
amazing.
is the coolest place.
It really is.
Yep, amazing what he left, his legacy. It is 8:29. We'll be back in a minute here on Talk 99.5, talk995.com. And if you have not checked out the question of the day, we need your help with that today. Go ahead to Richard's Facebook page. I believe it's on the Talk 99.5 Facebook page too, and let us know what you think. Good morning, 836. Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Dixon and Vining minus the Dixon today. Steve West co-hosting. John Bird behind the glass. He's going to have a long day, so y'all show him some love at 545-9950. And just, once again, talking about gas prices dropping. Crude oil down to 74. The Dow Jones Industrial Average right now plus 366 and some change. The deal with Iran is holding so far. I know we just signed some things yesterday. Things are looking up. Things are looking bright. And I just hope that we stay on this trajectory, so to say.
And that's what it's going to take, is to stay on this. And a lot of that has to do with what the future is going to hold with this deal with Iraq. Iran. Yeah, them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of that's going to have to do with that. What's going to happen after this 60-day period is over? Are we going to have something more permanent? Or is it going to be a situation where Trump's going to go, well, your 60 days are up. And if he does say, hey, we need to go back in, are we tiptoeing back in, or are we just going to dive into the deep end and go for it?
I think the tiptoeing's gone.
It better be.
I really think so. And I'm sure, Iran right now is probably looking at this going, they're trying to figure out in Donald Trump's mind what's going through it, and you can't do it. I'm certain they're thinking, well, he probably would really like to get this deal done before the midterms. Donald Trump's like, yeah, that would be nice, but what's more important is that you don't have nuclear capabilities, because if you have nuclear capabilities, midterms don't matter.
That's true.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
If you have a nuclear capability, whatever we do doesn't matter.
Are you looking to get it done quick, or are you looking to get it done right?
And I think that that's part of it, is that you've got a segment of the population, and once again, I like to say our listeners are the smartest people in the world, because you guys are. But people that aren't paying attention, they're like, this is terrible what Donald Trump is, kind of like the promo that Richard just did.
Right.
This is terrible. Gas prices are high. I know they're coming down a little bit, but he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And we said it at the beginning of this war. One of the first things we said was gas prices are going to begin to tick up.
Sure.
People are going to be mad about it because you're going to the gas pump, some people more than others. You're filling up. It's costing you a lot more than it did before, and you're ticked off because what's in your bank account is coming down because you're having to pay more for gasoline and more for food and more for this and more for that. Well, again, short-term pain, long-term gain.
Yeah.
That's what, and Donald Trump said it over and over again. We all have to be in this together and understand that there is going to be a little pain to do what we need to do with Iran, so that we don't have to worry about Israel any longer and have to come back over to their, help them out and to their defense. But for us as well, I mean, we've got interest in the Middle East as well. There's the whole oil thing. There are a million reasons why we need to make sure that Iran doesn't have nuclear capabilities. We've seen what they're capable of doing.
Yeah.
I mean, during this whole thing with Iran, they were firing rockets off at their neighbors who had never done anything. And you're like, they're over there like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing over here, Iran? What did we do to you?
Let's just tick off the entire neighborhood.
And that's ultimately what they've done. And Donald Trump says, these guys are a bunch of loose cannons. You can't have nuclear capabilities. You don't tell the truth. You sign deals, and then you go back on them. You renege. The minute you get nuclear capability, you're going to blow somebody up.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Israel's probably the main one in the target. But the other side of it is the fact that we, as a society, we are kind of at a point where if we want it, we can go get it.
Mm-hmm.
And we expect things to be able to run that fast. Well, they're not going to do that. You can't get governments of two different countries who are on opposite sides of a particular issue to come to terms just like that.
It doesn't work that way.
It takes time.
Yeah. And the price of gas, even though we're seeing it come down to the level that it needs to be, will take time.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take weeks, potentially months. It may not be to the end of the summer and into the fall where we see where those gas prices are going to level off. And the same thing, when we're going to the grocery store and we complain about it. We complain about the price of chips, and we complain about the price of soft drinks, and just about everything else. Are we ever going to see it to the level of pre-COVID? Probably not. No. But can some of those numbers, can some of those prices come down some? Yes. And gas prices will. But if we look at the economy and where we're headed right now. I mean, the Dow Jones is part of all of that process, and it is screaming that it's ready to take off.
Yeah.
And it's already doing that.
It's showing every sign of it. It really is.
Yep. We have a local company who has been kind of in and out of the news and is back in the news. And I hate it for them. And some of the background of the story, we don't have all of the facts yet, but we keep seeing this. The Ficus Restaurant Group back in the news. There's a new set of court actions that have been filed. This happened earlier this week. $8 million from the troubled group. The suit stems from PRG's connection to Shelby County Development that closed back in April. This was the Valley Post that a lot of you are familiar with out there off of Donovan Valley and 280.
Yeah.
Which I find
where Phil Carter, by the way, is talking about that big problem, traffic problem, right there.
Yeah, power lines down on
that
area.
same intersection right there is where we're talking about.
But it was, I had an opportunity to go out. I had some friends call, and they were like, hey, we're going to go out to this place. The weather was really nice. I think it was in May, maybe, or late April, where we can all sit outside. We can get a cold something, and everybody has a choice of 3 or 4 restaurants because they're all right there together. And then the communal area was the grassy area where you could sit, and there's all these picnic benches and take your pick, sit where you want. There's a big screen TV. There's little kids running around. There's, I think there was soccer at the time that was up on the big screen. It was really neat. I was like, this is a cool little place, especially for young families with kids, where you park the car and you're right there. The access was very easy. And then the kids have the freedom to, run around, do their thing, and parents are enjoying something to eat, something to drink. And it was great. And all of that's closed up because of these businesses and because of this problem. But we're hearing more and more about it. And I don't know what happened. Did they get in over their head? You had Rodney Scott's Barbecue and some of these other places that all got together with them. And it's just sad to see it. It really is.
Yeah.
That they built this thing and they poured all this money into it, and now it's just like, no, and now we're hearing that there's a lot of financial trouble.
Which means it's going to be hard for anybody to go back in there and say, hey, this is such a great area. Let's grab this and let's see what we can do with it and do something better with it. And, with everything tied up in this debt situation, you're not going to be able to get that land right now.
Yeah, and it would be nice if somebody else did come along and say, hey, we can kind of do the same thing. Let's get in there. Maybe you don't own all of the restaurants, but you could talk to some other restaurant owners and say, hey, let's go in together and figure this out and occupy that. Because before, wasn't there like a putt-putt golf course and a go-kart place that was in that location on that land before they built that?
I think so,
years ago.
But that was a long time ago,
Yeah. I think it was, I took Aiden there one time when it was go-karts, and it was, again, quite a ways back, but it was a lot of fun in that area. And I hate that they spent all the money to build all of that and financially can't figure it out. But it is what it is. Yeah, it really is. All right, we got a weather system too, folks. It's still not raining here. It's still not. 100% chance of rain. This is Tropical Storm Arthur. It's in West Alabama. It's in South Alabama. Some areas could see as much as 6 inches of rain. Central Alabama, we're looking at more of like a 2.5 inches of rain, which are possible. All of that is tracking our way. Bring in the flags, lower your umbrellas, tie down the patio furniture. There are winds of up to 60 miles per hour with this thing, so take it seriously, even though, yes, it's a little windy out there, but it doesn't look very threatening right now. It is on the way, and we will get the rain. And there is a tornado watch now in effect for Greene and Hale County. That is until 5 p.m. We'll keep folks updated with that situation.
Absolutely.
Yep. John Bird behind the glass. We're back in a minute here on Talk 99.5. Yeah, lighten up. It's 8:50. Talk 99.5, talk995.com. John Bird, did you just get a update on a situation out on our roadways?
Boy, I sure did, and I don't think it was in traffic. The traffic report. Okay, Highway 280 eastbound, all lanes are blocked.
Yeah, because of the power lines down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the inbound side too. So
Yes, the inbound side, there's only one lane that you have to move over. So that's a mess.
Oh.
and there's not many alternative routes.
No.
If
If you're living in Chelsea,
you got to know the back roads.
yeah, if you're living in Chelsea, about your main alternate route is to take Highway 11 all the way over to 65.
Oh no.
And that's
Yeah.
a haul.
Yeah, and she mentioned that old Highway 280, if you can turn off of that, they're directing
Yeah.
people.
How
that
about
way.
this?
Are they?
Just stay home.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
I live in
Yeah.
Chelsea, boss. Sorry, can't make it.
Or come into the station early. Well, it's too late for you.
Yeah. So earlier,
late now, yeah.
earlier we saw that, and I thought it was only in one direction, but you're saying it's both directions.
Yeah,
in
only
280.
one lane open. Everybody's got the.
That's near
filter
Donovan
in.
Valley. What we were just talking about, Donovan Valley and 280. Don't go anywhere near that.
Yeah.
If you're,
It's-
I
it's
see
kinda
somebody.
Kind of split right there. If you're coming in towards Birmingham on 280, Donovan Valley is County Highway 41, goes off to your right. Old Highway 280 goes off to your left.
Oh boy,
So
That's
yeah, it's a mess.
that's a problem. I have a little bit of good news for you all.
We like it.
The reflecting pool is clear.
There you go.
The reflecting pool is all beautiful because of the nano bubbler.
Nano
The
bubble.
What's a
nano
nano
bubbler.
Nanobots.
Donald Trump, I mean, this really has been an issue. He's trying to clean up D.C. He's trying to make things beautiful. And the reflecting pool, of course, if you go to D.C., it really is something to see. But it's not something to see when it's filled with algae.
Yeah.
And apparently that's been the issue there. Renovation recently taking place, $14 million renovation. But once again, it is visible. Donald Trump had a vision to, make some of these landmarks, bring them back to where they need to be so that when people go to visit D.C., they go, oh, that's really beautiful. And that reflecting pool has not been very pretty because of the challenge of the algae. But apparently, they've got it cleaned up. I don't know what it's going to take. They may need something permanently like a pool sweep that goes across the bottom of a pool.
You need
Just
something that keeps the water moving.
Yeah,
is
and
what
that's
you
part
need.
of it too.
Yeah.
The heat, the
Yeah.
non-moving, and maybe something cleaning the bottom of it 24/7. You might need a couple of those machines.
Maybe so, yeah.
To
But,
put it in there.
I mean, the work that needed to be done to that, finally Donald Trump did it. Everybody else was just putting Band-Aids on a gaping wound and saying, oh, yeah, that works. No, we were spending millions of dollars a year on lost water alone.
Yeah, and again, he's making every effort to get the crews in there to do what they need to do. They said the algae has been a problem for the last 100 years.
Oh, yeah. The last couple of times, and it's been a long time. I mean, I moved back down here from the West Virginia area in 97. I think the last time I was in D.C. would have been 94, but it was horrible. You go down the mall and you look at that, and there's all kinds of great things to look at, and then you look at that pool, and it's all green with algae because it's all, and it, truth be told, it stank.
Yeah, that's not what you
And that's not what you want when you're talking about going through the area where you see your nation's capital, you can see the White House, you can see the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, and all those things that we're supposed to really be very, very proud of and should be. And then you've got that.
And again, I can understand the difficult situation with the algae. Maybe they should have built it. I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda is easy now, right?
Sure.
If it were deeper, like an actual swimming pool, then you treat it like a swimming pool where there's filters and everything else
Maybe.
that, the algae doesn't have an opportunity to grow, or some type of system that pumps in
But
cooler air.
something
cooler
that you're
water.
not dumping a whole lot of chlorine in there, too, because that's a different odor that you probably really don't want.
Yeah, you don't want any of that either. But glad to report that at least this morning, it's that blue that President Donald Trump wanted.
Yeah.
We can
Well, and
hope
we
that it
knew
stays
we
that
knew
way.
at least part of it was going to be a short-term thing because it was still in the pipes. Because they didn't replace the pipes, they cleaned out the pipes a little bit, but most of it was done on the pool surface once they drained the water.
Yeah.
So we knew that a little bit of that was going to be come into effect, but yeah, it just kind of got worse, as it always does if you got standing water.
Yeah, the other thing that's going on in D.C. is that if you have any plans whatsoever to be there for the July 4th celebrations that will be going on. They are planning on closing Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. They will suspend most airline operations after 12 noon on July 4th because of all the events tied to the nation's 250th anniversary celebration.
Like Dulles Airport and BWI aren't already busy enough.
Yeah. Well, you think about the number of people that will probably be there for the 4th.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I understand why they're doing it, but yeah.
Close the airspace. Close the airspace. Well, and you have to think about what just happened with these guys that were plotting to do something horrible at this event that Donald Trump had last Sunday. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, maybe we need to pull it out a little bigger and say no flights.
Right.
Nothing in the air. Yeah. How about that?
All I can think of, though, is Die Hard 2. Where it's supposedly set at Dulles Airport, and they're like, got to shove everything over to everybody else.
That's right.
Good luck with that.
Maria has got a question for you, Steve. Let's go to her and see what's up. Welcome in, Maria.
Hello, Maria.
Hi. A little clarification on this accident here at 41.
Yeah.
Well, I've been in my car almost an hour and a half.
Oh,
anyway.
I'm sorry.
Gosh.
So the right lane is technically not open. Heading inbound, you have to use that little jog that goes down to the soccer fields.
Oh, gosh.
Steve, you'll know where
yeah.
I mean.
I know where you're talking about.
Okay. So that's all of us. That is, tanker truck, tractor trailers who need to go out now to 41 and make a left so they can continue on 280.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so technically this is before the intersection.
Yes.
Okay, so it's in that little area between that little area where you go down into the soccer fields, but before you'd get to 41 and Old 280.
It is just, I don't see the accident, but there are tons of power trucks, AT&T.
That's what it is. I don't know necessarily there's an accident.
It might have been a wreck earlier that knocked down a power pole, and they may have gotten the car out.
Lines are down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of us, like I said, are taking that jog, going to get up to 41, going to have to make a left to get back onto 280.
Yeah.
It is, again, I've been in the car an hour and a half.
Maria, what advice would you have for anyone listening right now thinking about coming in that direction? What would you say?
I wish I would have known. I wish there was better traffic reporting on things like this because I would have gone down 11 to 65.
Yeah. Well, our own traffic guy, I know he's mentioned it a few times this morning, and I'm so sorry you got stuck in it.
Yeah.
Yep. But thank you. Yeah. Thank you for the report. We appreciate it very much. Maybe we'll save some other people some
You're trying to take
time
2 lanes
heartache.
of packed Highway 280 onto that little bitty access road to get to the soccer fields and go through that area and get back up.
What?
Plus, then you got to get them onto Donovan Valley Road with all the traffic that's already going there, and then get up onto 280. Oof. Man,
Yeah.
I feel for you. I feel for all of
Maybe
you that are
we'll
out there
try
stuck in
to
that.
reach out to the power company and see what kind of timeline we're looking at. We probably ought to ask that question and see what we can find out for people. That's kind of serious. I mean, you think about, emergency vehicles that might need to get through there. She just mentioned it. Some of these
The
18-wheelers that are loaded with stuff that got to get to, point B. And, oh, no, that's a real problem.
It's tough.
Yeah. So we'll see what we can find out about that. But that is an absolute mess. And, again, I know our traffic guys have been on top of it this morning, and we appreciate it very much. Once again, the weather today, it looks as if we're going to have lots and lots of rain. A tornado watch in effect for Greene and Hale County until 5 o'clock. We'll see if more counties get added to that because of the winds, the potential for spin-up tornadoes with this thing. But Mobile may see the worst of it with the amount of rain that is anticipated down there. Montgomery is going to get a lot of this. And when we talk about the Birmingham metro area, about 2.5 inches is what is predicted. We might get a little bit more than that. North Alabama, half an inch of rain is what you'll see.
Yeah.
So the further south you go, the worse it is. Y'all be careful out on the roadways. Back in a minute, Talk 99.5.